Hey guys, gizmoddict here, and today we are checking out the Realme 2. So Realme has launched this phone as a successor to the Realme 1, but according to me this phone is a downgrade in almost every aspect as compared to its predecessor. I mean, is Realme even being real with the Realme 2? It feels so unreal because the Realme 1 had the Helio P60, Full HD display, a really good set of cameras, whereas on the other side of the spectrum we've got the Realme 2 with a Snapdragon 450, 720p display, decent set of cameras and a notch. So yeah, the question is this phone even worth checking out? Well, the thing is, Realme doesn't sell the base variant of the Realme 1 anymore, so for 9,000 rupees, this is one of the only options that you have right now in the market. So yeah, in this video I'll be sharing my opinions about the Realme 2 after using it for a considerable amount of time. But then before we get started, if you're new here, then definitely hit the red subscribe button. It's similar to the red variant of this phone. Hit the bell icon and also press the like button so that you guys can watch more such videos in the future. Now, let's get started. Honestly, when I was switching to the Realme 2 as my primary device, I expected a subpar experience as compared to the Realme 1. I didn't have a lot of expectations, and that is what this phone delivered. If you're gonna compare this with the Realme 1, the experience overall is definitely a step down, and to really convince yourself to buy this phone, you have to pretend that the Realme 1 never existed. And that's what we're gonna do for the rest of this video. First, we're gonna start off by talking about the design and the build quality. And more or less things remain the same on the outside. You've got the same plastic body as we had on the Realme 1, but this time around even the red variant gets this diamond pattern. It's very beautiful, it stands out in the crowd, and I personally love the red color of the Realme 2. The diamond pattern does reflect light from different angles and it looks very nice. A lot of people were asking me which phone was I using, and they were quite surprised that this is a 9,000 rupee phone. So in terms of design, I think Realme's done a great job. Even though the phone's made out of plastic, the phone looks very nice. Although one complaint that I have is that Realme has made this phone really massive. So if you like big displays, you will love it. But then on the other hand, if you like compact phones, then maybe this is not for you. Because on the front, you've got a 6.2-inch display with a notch. And unfortunately, it's only 720p. So it's not very sharp. It only has around 270 pixels per inch. So definitely not the sharpest. And the Realme 1 definitely had a much better display. The Full HD Plus panel on the Realme 1 was way better than what we have here on the Realme 2. I personally think Realme didn't do a nice thing by switching to 720p. The Full HD Plus display on the Realme 1 was very nice. They could have used that, and I would have preferred that 18:9 display as compared to having a notch. Without any doubt, if you're gonna put both of these phones side by side, you're gonna find the Realme 1 better. So yeah, Realme switching back to 720p was not a good idea. So although the display panel is good, it's no doubt a downgrade and you're gonna notice it. And that is also true about the performance of the Realme 2. The Snapdragon 450 is decent, it plays a lot of games, it handles everyday usage with ease, but then it's not a match to the Helio P60 of the Realme 1. The Realme 1 was a powerhouse and the performance of that phone was exceptional for 9,000 rupees. So while the Realme 2 is still one of the best performing phones in this segment, it definitely feels like a compromise as compared to its predecessor. And considering that the Realme phones ship with ColorOS, which is a heavily skinned version of Android, I feel that the Realme 1 was smoother at handling it as compared to the Realme 2. On Realme 2, I didn't find the software experience to be super smooth. In fact, the Redmi 6 with MIUI 10 felt smoother than the Realme 2. That probably is down to the fact that ColorOS is not fully optimized, and while it's difficult to show it on camera, you will feel it when you put both of these phones side by side. And honestly, ColorOS is a pain to use sometimes. How the hell has Realme or Oppo not figured out how to deal with notifications on the phone? So if you get a notification on a ColorOS device, you can't just swipe them off with a single swipe as you can do on any other Android phone. So on the Realme 2, what you have to do is you have to swipe once, then you have to press the trash icon. After that, it will remove the notification. And it gets very annoying when you have tons of pop-up notifications from WhatsApp and things like that. You have to individually do this two-step thing with every single notification, and it's annoying as hell. This really needs to be fixed in ColorOS, and I don't know even a single person who likes this two-step process. So Oppo or Realme, if you're listening, you definitely need to fix this. It's very annoying. And it sometimes really gets on your nerves and you just feel like throwing the phone because of that. I know it's a very small thing and it might feel like I'm exaggerating, but then when you use this phone on a day-to-day basis, it definitely becomes a pain. So Oppo, please fix this problem in the ColorOS. Apart from that, I don't have any complaints with the ColorOS. It's as feature rich as any other UI in this price bracket, and you can live with it except for that notification tray. Moving on, let's talk about the cameras. Unlike the Realme 1, this time you have dual cameras on the back, helping with the portrait mode, and on the front is an 8 megapixel sensor. Even though Realme 1 had a single camera setup on the back, the performance, especially in low light, was much better as compared to the Realme 2. The Realme 2's cameras are kind of a downgrade from Realme 1, and I even compared it to the Redmi 6 in one of my videos. Go check it out. Personally, I feel that the Redmi 6 has a better rear-facing camera, and the Realme 2 did better in selfies. You can record up to 1080p on the Realme 2 as well, and the output was decent. Once again, Redmi 6 has electronic image stabilization, so it's better in videos. So the cameras are good on this phone, but they are not the best. But what's best is the battery life on the Realme 2. You've got a 4230 mAh of battery, and coupled with the Snapdragon 450 chip, which is a very power efficient CPU, the battery life is amazing on the Realme 2. You can easily go up to 1.5 days on a single charge, and it's one of the best in this segment. Unfortunately, ColorOS does not show you screen on time, so I can't show you the numbers, so you will have to take my word for it. It's definitely one of the best in this segment, and I have no complaints with it. It easily can last you for more than a day, and Realme's done a good job here. This is definitely a step up as compared to the Realme 1, and I'm glad that they went with more than 4000 mAh of battery. The call quality and network reception was also great on this phone. You've got dual VoLTE, so you can use 2 Jio SIM cards, and there's a separate micro SD card slot as well in case the 32GB storage is not enough for you. Audio via the headphone jack was decent as well, and this phone also got a fingerprint sensor on the back, once again something that we missed on the Realme 1. It works as it should, it's very fast and I have no complaints with it. You also got face unlock on the Realme 2, something that we loved on the Realme 1 for its speed, and it works with equal speed on the Realme 2. It's very fast and I have no complaints with it. In fact, it's one of the only phones with the fastest face unlock feature in this price bracket. So yeah, good job Realme. But then overall, if I have to conclude, the Realme 2 is a really good phone. But then if you're gonna compare it to the Realme 1, I think that phone was definitely a much more value for money prospect at 9000 rupees. Personally, I feel that there is no point of selling the Realme 2 because you've got the Realme C1 with a slightly inferior camera, 2GB RAM, 16GB storage, but with the same processor and the huge 4000 mAh of battery for 2000 rupees less. So what Realme could have done is they could have sold the Realme C1, then the base variant of the Realme 1, and then they could have sold the Realme 2 Pro. But sadly, that's not the case. The only thing that I can tell you is if you can find the base variant of the Realme 1 for 9000 rupees, go grab that phone. But then if you can't, for 9000 rupees, this is one of the only good choices that is available in the market. I've also reviewed the Redmi 6, but then that phone is not as good in gaming as compared to the Realme 2. So yeah, if you want to check out the review of the Redmi 6, there's also a link in the video's description. For now, this is what I think about the Realme 2. In case I've missed anything, then definitely ask me in the comments and I'll reply to your questions. If you guys have any more questions, you can also follow my Facebook, Twitter and Instagram page and ask me there. I will definitely answer your questions. For now, this was my review of the Realme 2. If you guys liked watching it, then hit the like button, press the red subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell icon. That's all for now and I'll be back in the notifications very soon. Peace.